What's up, lovers of whiskey and watchers of YouTube? I am the Malt activist, and today I have a whiskey that I reviewed an earlier batch, much earlier batch, around maybe 10 years ago. 10 years ago, that's right. And today we're up to batch number 8. I'm of course talking about this exquisite Glengoyne Teapot Dram batch 8. What's up and welcome back. So Glengoyne, whoa! I've always been infatuated with Glengoyne, and it's a personal journey of mine because when I got into this nasty habit of drinking whiskey, I remember I was passing through the whiskey store at my airport. It was one of the premium whiskey stores, and I wanted to buy something, fantastic, something, really noteworthy. And the gentleman behind the counter directed me to this wonderful Glengoyne, 21 years old. That's right, 21-year-old Glengoyne. And this was the first Glengoyne that I ever bought. This is the exact same bottle, by the way. This is the exact bottle of the Glengoyne 21 that I bought many years ago. And I kept it. I actually bought 2 bottles. I drank one, and this I keep for posterity and heritage and something to pass on to my children so that they can sell it for millions of dollars. No, I hope they drink it. But anyway, so I've always had this infatuation with Glengoyne, and I'm glad I started off with a 21. Mind you, 10 years ago, a bit more, prices weren't that ridiculous. I probably got this bottle for maybe $100 roughly around that time, and I remember thinking, damn, that's a lot of money to be spending on a whiskey. But I'm glad that I did, and it turned out to be a wonderful whiskey, and it sort of set me on the road to whiskey tasting. And in particular, I decided to have this infatuation with Glengoyne. So I'm a huge fan of this distillery. I think they produce some of the finest whiskeys out there. Sure, there's a few that touch and go, but by and large, I think they do a fantastic job. So well done, Glengoyne. The next thing that I love about Glengoyne is their revival of this lore of the Teapot Dram. Now, the first Teapot Dram was introduced maybe 10 years ago, so I'm pretty sure most of you know what the story behind the Teapot Dram is, but I'll tell you anyway. So what used to happen, even until the late 1970s, distilleries would give their workers 1, 2, or 3 drams a day as part of a, hey man, good job, well done, here's something for you to drink. And some distilleries who were cheap would give just new mixed spirit. Glengoyne, on the other hand, apparently good paymasters and a good distillery would give their workers mature whiskey. And normally you would get 3 fingers worth. That's right, 3 fingers worth of whiskey 3 times a day. That's a lot of whiskey to be drinking while you're at work, but hey, that's what I do for a living, so I don't see anything wrong with that. Workers would get 3 drams a day of cask strength whiskey, right? And so they would be distributed to everybody, and what would happen is that the seasoned drinkers would be like, oh, this is great, I'm happy with this, but the newbies, the greens, they weren't used to so much alcohol. So what they do is, instead of throwing it away, there was a communal teapot. There was a communal teapot in the cafeteria where everyone would go pour their remaining whiskey that they didn't want to drink, and that would accumulate in the teapot. And the hardened and the seasoned drinkers would then use that teapot and pour themselves extra drams, and hence the fable or the legend of the Teapot Dram was born. I think it's a wonderful story. It's one of those that sort of rekindles your romance of this noble profession, if you ask me. And I love that story. But unfortunately, that practice has been discontinued. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it's been discontinued. And so, no, distilleries aren't handing out free alcohol to all their workers to drink on the job. But what they have done is they've used that as a marketing gimmick to commemorate that legend and released this whiskey. So, what do we have here? We have this wonderful whiskey, which is bottled at 59% ABV. Are you kidding me? So they're definitely not playing around. This is first fill Oloroso sherry casks, and only 3,000 of them have been released so far. And here's the rub. This is only available at the distillery. Yeah, only at the distillery or at the distillery online store. That's it. It's not available in the regular market. So lucky to get my hands on this. I had my boys from my whiskey club MSA travel down to Scotland a couple of months ago. They called me from there and said, "What do you want?" I said, "Pick me a bottle of the latest Teapot Dram," and this is what we have. And we're up to batch 8 at this point. Considering that this whiskey was released 10 years ago, that means they've been, regularly releasing one almost every year. So good to have this with us. Time to see what it looks like. Damn, look at that color. Woo! This is non-chill filtered, this is non-colored, this is served at cask strength, this is matured in first fill Oloroso sherry cask. I mean, come on. They know what they're doing. They know what we like. They know we love whiskeys like this. Big, fat, crisp sherry bombs served at cask strength of near fatal ABVs. Bellissimo. This is, for those of you who know me, I'm extremely sensitive to sulfur in whiskeys, and it gives me a really bad bad impression of the whiskey, turns me off completely. And I have to say, ladies and gentlemen, that this is a near pristine first fill Oloroso sherry cask. Just everything right about this nose. I love it. It's an absolute sherry bomb. Make no mistakes about it. This is an absolute sherry bomb, and just so many good memories. There's nothing more amazing than smelling a perfectly crisp sherried whiskey. I don't even smell the alcohol. I don't even get the ethanol burn, nothing. This is almost 60%. Damn near perfect if you ask me. Damn near perfect. Okay, what do we have? Dark chocolate, oak, leather, cigar box, red apples, cinnamon, nutmeg, black pepper, and blood oranges. So quintessential crisp sherry bomb nose, and absolutely nothing wrong with it. Next to no flaws on this nose. Yeah, I'm trying to find an astringency here, from the high alcohol levels, but I'm not able to get it, which means that the wood has really done its bit. I'm guessing somewhat older whiskeys in here as well. Of course, this is a non-age statement whiskey. We don't know, but I'm going to guess slightly older whiskeys in this stock because, I'm not getting that astringency or that ethanol burn that you get from younger whiskeys. I like it a lot. All right, well, I guess there's nothing left for me to do but dance. Yes. Woo! Damn, son, 60%. It's Okay, I'm going to need some time to recover. Super high strength, lots of black pepper, oak, cinnamon, nutmeg, dark chocolates, like a Christmas rum cake. Again, that leather cigar box, hint of tobacco. Whoa. I think everything right about this whiskey. Maybe a touch of astringency on the palate, even though I didn't get any on the nose. A touch of astringency on the palate, perhaps, but I think that's just because it's super high strength. I'm not going to add any water to it. I think this is good as is. Let your palate just be absolutely pummeled with the high strength of the alcohol and the flavors, and then let it adjust on its own. So I'm not going to add any water to this. Maybe a hint of bitterness right at the end, but I think that's a dark chocolate bitterness as opposed to something flawed bitterness. You know what I'm saying? Whoa, massive, big, huge, boom, everywhere. I can feel it in my fingertips. I can feel this whiskey just traveling into my fingertips. Man, this is an onslaught on the senses. If you have it straight, I would highly recommend that you add a few drops of water before drinking this. Otherwise, you might hate this whiskey. You might hate this whiskey purely from the point of view of how high in alcohol strength this is. But once you get past that, it's just full of quintessential, perfectly matured sherry flavors, and I'm extremely happy with this whiskey. Yeah, I am so happy that I'm going to give it an A-. A-, and only because I love this style of whiskeys. Big fat sherry bombs served at cask strength, non-chill filtered, no color added, first fill Oloroso sherry casks, and so just everything done right, in my opinion. And so it is a very accomplished sherry bomb. If you're lucky, because there's not a lot of them available on the ground, apparently, just 3,000 produced. So if you're lucky and you can get your hands on this whiskey, I highly suggest that you do, because it is an absolute corker. And it's one of those that you have your friends over and then you serve it and then they drink it and then they make that face, and then you sit there and you laugh maniacally in the corner because you've done something evil to them, but also good. So wow. Very nice. That bitterness back again. So I don't know. Just that little bit of bitterness is throwing me off. It wasn't there before. It is there now. But I could be mistaken. I've drunk this whiskey a couple of times before, and I didn't really get that bitterness. I'm only getting it now. So it could be the time of day. It could be a lot of things. But overall, I think this is a damn fine spirit. Get your hands on it if you can, and let me know. Let me know what you think. Please tell me if any one of you who's watching this has drunk this whiskey, and if you agree or disagree with me, put it down in the comments below. It'll be a treat to have that conversation with you. And hey, thanks, man. Thank you. And once again, thank you for all those people who watch. If you're not subscribed, hey man, hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell icon. I do a lot of whiskey reviews, and hopefully there's something in here that you like and you might find useful. So do that. And for those of you who are already subscribed and part of the community, thank you, man. I really appreciate you being here. So thank you for joining me for this whiskey review. I'm the Malt Activist. Until next time.